Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where today I'm going to be talking about green eyeshadow palettes. Green is one of my favorite colors to play with, and it turns out I have several palettes in my collection that are either all green or very heavily green leaning. So I just wanted to go through these palettes, talk about some of their merits, probably swatch a few of my favorite shades within each. If you've never been here before, hi, my name is Rachel. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom. I love to play with colorful eyeshadow and I upload about 3 videos a week, so maybe you'd like to consider liking and subscribing so you don't miss anything new. I did film today's eye look and I'll link it down below for you as soon as it's live. So without further ado, let's talk about these green beauties. It only seems right that I start with my absolute favorite green eyeshadow palette. That is the Dirty Martini palette from Glamlight. This is a really solid palette. I know it's monochromatic, and I don't really have that many monochromatic palettes in my collection anymore because I personally don't really go for a monochromatic look the way that I used to. As you can see, I like contrast, depth, and drama in my eyeshadow looks. However, this is a solid green palette, and it's not completely monochromatic. As you can see, we've got a couple more blue tones and then 1 or 2 more complementary shades in the bronzy, orangey, brassy sort of family, but overall it's a very green palette, and this is such good quality. Really, really good quality. It performs beautifully, it builds, it blends. The mattes are pigmented, the shimmers are creamy and impactful. It's a really solid palette. My absolute favorite shade in here is this shade right here called Green Olive. I'll swatch that one for you. And just because it's fun, I think I'll grab a shimmer as well. Since this is a green video, I'm not going to swatch any of the blue shades, but the blues are really nice. But I think I'll swatch this shade Vodka Teeny because I actually use this a lot. So here is the shade Green Olive. And then here's Vodka Teeny. 2 really beautiful shades. Every time I use Green Olive, I get excited about it because it's such a beautiful tone. It has so much depth and interest. It's not just a boring green shade. It actually has a lot of warmth and roundness to the shadow tone itself. It's a beautiful shade. The next palette I pulled out is in the Limelight from ColourPop. This is one of their newer releases, and this palette's actually really nice. It's very, very light toned. I had to dip into the pan many times to get the color payoff that I wanted, but that's not really a surprise because it's so light toned. But it is a nice palette. It's good quality. It's almost entirely green. As you can see, we've got these 2 pinky shades here, and then this one is, there's a lot of gold in it, but it's a green gold. So aside from these 2 pinks, I think it's pretty much green. Oh, and this one up here as well. But it's good quality. It is ColourPop's nice quality, and it's performed very nicely for me. I look forward to pairing it with lots of other palettes in my collection, like orange and red and yellow and things like that. But anyway, it's a good palette. I'm going to swatch, this shade right here is called Palms. And then this one up here is Miami. And just for kicks, let's grab After Party as well. So Palms, Miami, and After Party. Let's see how they look. Try and make sure I don't overlap here. Here's Palms, Miami, and After Party. I hope I lined those up okay for you guys. Let me look. Yeah, they're okay. So the Miami shade is probably hard for you to see on camera. That's one of the ones that I had to dip into a lot to get color payoff, but it's a nice shade. I mean, it's got sort of a it's a lime green palette. You're not going to get a huge variety of colors the way you did with Dirty Martini because it's not just green, it's lime green. And if you go too dark, you're no longer in lime green. And if you go too light, it just disappears. But overall, it is a nice palette. It's a good quality. And I do look forward to pairing it with others like the Dirty Martini palette, other palettes that can give me some more drama and depth in the look, but I get to have the focus of the look be the lime green light shades. It's a good palette. Let's talk about the Hella palette between Angelica Nyqvist and Udenzai. This is one of my favorite palettes, period. It's so good. Not only are the colors amazing, but of course it's Udenzai, so the quality is amazing. The packaging is outstanding. This is a seriously good palette. I definitely want to swatch this shade right here for you called Venom. Ouroboros is a wonderful deepening shade. It's a little bit more blue toned, so it adds the depth of green, especially with all these yellowy brown greens, but it brings in a new warmth of color with the blue tint. So here is the shade Venom, and we'll do Ouroboros. And I think also I want to swatch Fluorescence up here. And look, I mean, come on, the payoff, incredible. No offense to the ColourPop in the Limelight, but the quality of this is far above. So here is Venom, Ouroboros, and Fluorescence. All so beautiful. They're also very different. none of these are the same. Like, these are really different quality tones and colors. Not quality as far as, you know, good, bad, but quality as far as the warmth and the shadow range, you know. They're just beautiful. This is such a great palette. I cannot more highly recommend it. It's awesome. I did want to mention the Oceanic palette from Ace Beauté. This is a blue-green palette, but it's got a lot of greens in it. And this is a two-tone palette or a two-color palette that's done really, really well. Because of the sheer variety of shades, tones, depths within those two colors, it's superb. I adore this color story. So some of the best greens in here are this one right here. This is the shade Algae. This is just like an acid neon sort of green. It's really good. And this, by the way, is the old formula. I don't know how the new formula performs. I assume it's only better. And then I love this shade here called Seagrass. It's a lovely grassy, springy kind of green with a little bit of depth to it as well. So we've got Algae and Seagrass. I'm going to swatch these up higher actually because I have room. Here's Algae. And then here's Seagrass. Sorry, I'm not the best at swatching. I never seem to find the right spot to swatch. But aren't these just beautiful shades? I love them. They're so interesting and unique. They're really special within my collection. This palette itself has so much to offer. Even though it's just two colors, there's so much variety within those two colors. It's a really good palette. I like this one a lot. The Pistachio palette from BH Cosmetics Sweet Shop series, this is a really good palette. When I first saw this palette, or when I first saw the series, this is the one I was most interested in. I think that these colors are just beautiful. I will have to swatch some of these shimmers. This one right here is called Crunch. It's a beautiful teal kind of shimmer. I mean, look at that shade. Oh my word, oh my word. Okay, and I want to swatch this one here called Sweet Life. The last time I used this palette, I paired it with the Blue Moon from ColourPop, and it looked really, really, really pretty. Okay, so what were the names of those again? Oh yes, Crunch and Sweet Life. I'll swatch these up high as well, go onto my hand. Here is Crunch. And here's Sweet Life. And the shadows within these BH Sweet Shop palettes perform like a dream. They are such incredible, fantastic quality. They have pigment, they are buildable, blendable, they're soft, but they're lovely. There's almost no kick up in the pans. There's almost no fallout on the face. Really, really good. Really good. And look at these shadows. They're amazing. Amazing. This is BH Cosmetics' really, really good formula. And finally, I have to mention the Mint to Be palette. Now, you might not consider this a true green palette, but it's mint. And so it's sort of green, sort of blue, right? But this is a super good quality palette. This is a staple within my collection. Whenever I want a mint shade, this is the palette I go for, and it always performs exactly as I want it to. I'm going to swatch the greener of the minty tones. I'm going to grab this one here called Mint Tea. Mint Tea. Minty. ColourPop likes wordplay. And I'll grab this one here called Ice Cold. I love this color. And just for kicks, let's take Mojito Mommy here as well, because it's certainly green. It's a super, super light green. I mean, they're all light. It's a mint palette, but they're really nice. And I'll swatch on my hand. So here's Mint Tea, Ice Cold, and Mojito Mommy. I've never swatched on my knuckles. I'm such a mess. I'm such a mess. Oh my, but it's not about the swatches, right? It's about the palettes. These are really good eyeshadows. They are really nice quality. They're beautifully pigmented considering that they're basically all pastel. I think this one here is the least pastel within the palette, but it is still kind of pastel leaning even with its darker quality. It's a solid palette. It is a staple in my collection. I don't ever plan on getting rid of it because it's so good. And really, you can pair a minty palette with a lot of the more green tones. I could pair this with any of these very green palettes and get a really interesting look. Or you can go blue, obviously, and pair it with blue tones like the Blue Moon palette from ColourPop or the Bubblegum from the Sweet Shop series. You could even pair it with teal because teal is green and blue. So much variety and versatility within this little palette. It's solid. Alright guys, so there you go. I am all covered in sparkles and beautiful green swatches. I am not complaining. This video was fun. I so enjoyed looking through my collection and like choosing a theme or a topic on my mind and then grabbing all the palettes that correspond. It's a lot of fun. I like to talk about eyeshadow. I like to apply eyeshadow. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to see lots more colorful content on your timeline. I appreciate you hanging out with me and watching my video, and I hope that you have a lovely, lovely day. Bye!